Colin Powell. I'm sure everyone has seen there has been a new set of leaks, email leaks, email dumps today. And there are emails from Colin Powell in the midst as well. So drum roll, as Stacey already announced, our new savage of our super savage of the month is Colin Powell. Like, shout out to bro Colin Powell. Because he keeps it 100% in his emails. Like, these emails, and it's not even that, these of course is someone's private correspondence. So on the one hand, it's kind of like, but his personal email was hacked. Not that I don't necessarily support or endorse, that. Apparently our Podcast Revolution website was hacked yesterday, and we're back up and running, but for disruptive to people's stuff. However, it's some really good information that came out on the flip side. From what you saw today, like, what do you think while I pull up?
It was shade. It was shade, but it was kind of delectable. Some of it was kind of like, I know Bill Clinton's mad. You just busted Bill right out, He's still bringing which I really don't care, but that's more of Hillary's power. I know it may be a tough night over at the Clinton household tonight, but some of it basically reinforced what I talked about, the Clintons, both him and her, and some of the things that we knew. I guess after, the whole PowerPoint Iraq war thing, let's put it this way. My man ain't mad, but he's a little bitter.
It just seems not only since he stepped down, after his tenure as in the first, as Secretary of State in the first Bush tenure term, he kind of laid low for a while, but as the primary started heating up going into 2008, he started to become vocal. He spoke out, favorably about President Obama, which for a lifelong Republican, that was an interesting stance that he decided to take. He has said that he voted for Barack Obama not once but twice. But what's really interesting, though, as he has most recently voted for Democratic presidents, for him to say things like, even though we're friends, I'm not voting for her, meaning, Hillary Clinton. Some of the takeaways from the emails, in terms of Hillary Clinton, was everything HRC touches, she kind of screws up with hubris. I mean, I know I'm one of the people that has been saying that hubris will be her downfall. Like, she exudes hubris. Now, some people say, well, that's just confidence. No, there's a difference between confidence and hubris. She is a very confident person at times, and I'll give her that. She definitely has a very commanding presence, and I think that is definitely what you need in someone who's going to lead and do the type of work that we need done. However, there is an arrogance, there is a hubris that does also exist for not only Hillary, from Bill, from the entire team Clinton, that they think that they don't stink and they can just do and say whatever and there will be no consequences to it. And I think that's why people go so hard against them, is because it's like Colin Powell said in one of the emails that were released, and these are recent emails too, from like the last, several months, last year or so. One of the emails that said, if she, in regards to the email to the server scandal, if she would at least just have been honest when this first came up, explain. He said, put it out there full Monty. Don't try to blame it on me. Put it out there. You know what I'm saying? And this would have been over. And people still would have tried. And let's just be clear. There's nothing, people don't like the Clintons. They are going to find reasons to like hate on them and stuff like that. However, the big fanfare, all the, oh my God, she lied. That wouldn't have happened, because if you just upfront, I did this is what we thought, he in the email.
It's not the action, it's the cover up.
Yes, and that tends to be what it is with them across the board, is the cover up.
More than hubris, it's also, and Jeremiah Wright did the mic drop video back in, I think it was 2007, when he talked about how Hillary Clinton felt privileged. There is a sense of privilege that permeates from her, whether it's, something intentional, something she can control or not, I really can't say, but that is the perception that I and others get. and to a sense, she is privileged. I mean, she is her husband's position throughout government has allowed her access and to rise.
Mm-hmm.
She, started from the bottom. Now you hear kind of thing. You and your privilege, I mean, their relationship is symbiotic. I mean, she helped him, but he helped her. And unfortunately, and I'm, looking at this from the perspective of a woman who's been married for quite a long time, you owe her. So, this is her payback. And I kind of feel bad for her. This is just not the one for you, boo boo. And the stars don't seem to be in alignment.
Yeah. He said they are going to dick up the legitimate and necessary use of emails with friggin' record rules. And then he said, I would rather not have to vote for her, although she is a friend I respect, a 70-year-old person with a long track record, unbridled ambition, greedy, non-transformational, with a husband still dicking bimbos at home, parentheses, according to the New York Post.
Bill.
Like, that right there is savage. And I keep saying savage, like I explained last night. Keep saying savage. The kids, my kids, that is like the kids thing, right? Savage. Like, that is so badass. Like, he put it all the way out there.
What Bill out there, I mean, you digging the bimbos in the house. In the house.
Yeah.
In the house.
And what's interesting is, on the one hand, you might say, like, well, he's a Republican. He is, but he has been a certain pedigree of Republican, and he was willing to step away from the mainstream.
Tell with a number in it, one of them places with a just. Dude, come on, Bill, in the house. I mean, from a woman's standpoint, that's like a cardinal sin. You deserve to die. In my house?
I mean, maybe they got an arrangement we all don't know about. I really don't know.
I would be going ham in my house, bro. In my house, I got a.
That's a big house. Maybe he has his own suites.
Enforcing right there. Forget the election. I'm whooping your ass in my house.
But on Benghazi, going through some more of the emails on Benghazi, he said Benghazi was a stupid witch hunt, which I agree. Benghazi, some of y'all might not agree, but I do agree. He wrote in a December 2015 email to Condoleezza Rice, according to BuzzFeed. He also said that basic fault falls on a courageous ambassador who thought Libyans now love me and I'm okay in this very vulnerable place. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but this is, the synopsis from the emails. But also blame rests on his leaders and supporters back here, Pat Kennedy, intelligence community, DC, and yes, HRC. Well, DS and yes, HRC. So on one hand, he is saying that, this is all, cloak and daggers, this is a big brouhaha, but there is some blame that needs to be shouldered all across the board by everyone involved. And I think that we all can agree to that much. But it's just very interesting to see such candid, conversational information about things that we all have thought of too, coming from someone who has been in the know, who has been in those internal circles on Trump. So this is where it gets juicy. Well, I mean, it's all been juicy, but he's a Republican, right? On Trump.
Delectable shade, just fabulous shade. But yes,
Trump is a national disgrace, an international pariah.
Well,
I think we all can agree with that. I think we all can agree. He is.
I mean, really, is the man. I mean, I ain't mad at him for that.
And I was reading a piece earlier, and he was saying that I think he got asked, was he going to actively speak out? And this is early, mind you, this is early on, right? So this is long before Trump was actually the nominee. This is when Trump was starting to pick up. And he was saying in emails that he felt Trump was getting too much media. He said he was a disgrace, an international pariah. He said Trump appeals to the worst angels of the GOP nature and poor white folks. He also talked about in some other transactions about how the birther movement, it appeared to a very racist element within the Republican Party, and that the 99% knew that. And Trump was appealing to that, and Trump was furthering a very racist agenda. that should not be
the casket. I found your basket. That's that basket of deplorables. That was it, right?
But I like the way Colin Powell says it so much better, and has been saying it as he knows in one of his as has been noted. He's been saying it since 2012. The way the party has been going, the Republican Party, the way the Republican Party had been going, they were going down this pathway of embracing more and more, which explains why he, as a moderate Republican, had voted for Obama and has been leaning more towards his maybe Democratic friends. But so that was just like, you know, the Colin Powell, I mean, the shade is just so deep and so real in those emails. But he was saying that he did not feel a need to come out at that time to speak out against Donald Trump, because he said every time you called him stupid or attacked him, it emboldened him even more. And I think we've seen that. We've seen that, right? Like anytime someone makes fun of him or says something, like when they used to dog him about not having anything on his website, right? Like he'd shrug it off, and people love that goofy dumbness. Like, and people were eating that up. He's like, that you're just like feeding the monster. And I compare Donald Trump. To me, Donald Trump is like Vigo and Ghostbusters. and Ghostbusters 2. I think we talked about this before. Donald Trump is Vigo in the Carpathian in Ghostbusters 2. You know, the ugly guy with the blonde hair and he looks like he might need to have a comb over too in the painting. And there's like the sea of the pink slime underneath the city of New York, and it just feeds off of the hatred and the muck and the evil. And like, I mean, we need to.
That's some sick shit, but I dig you. Dig you. But you're absolutely right. You know, we keep feeding the beast, and you know, he's like the world's biggest troll. You know, and feed a thinker. You know, it's like we pay too much attention, but this is what happens. We had a media frenzy who saw the ratings gold in Trump, who elevated him, and then sat back there and said, well, what the hell happened? How did we end up Trump? You've got Lawrence O'Donnell on MSNBC. You know, he's really doing some great commentaries on
yeah. Well, now we have Keith Olbermann back, who's made it his mission to decimate and attack Trump. And while that's cool, you know, it'd be really great to have had, you know, that voice in the primaries where it really actually did make a difference in terms of actually talking about the issues. And you know, Keith Olbermann, someone I really thought of as been a very principled person. He's now back. I think he's with GQ doing a segment now. But speaking of Trump,